Verbal abuse from a computer and the coolest puzzle game in years. I'm in. Portal 2. I'm starting my review of Portal 2 so late. I mean, the PlayStation apocalypse happened. I couldn't play multiplayer. I beat the single player campaign, but without multiplayer, it's like half the game. But now I've beat the entire game, so let's review it. Alright, so Portal 1 came out, and who are we kidding? That game was badass. Be it about an hour and a half long, but it's still badass. And now Portal 2 is easy. I heard it was twice as long as Portal 1. I think that's cutting it a little short. It seems a little longer than twice as long. And maybe it is just twice as long, but they do a really good job at making you feel like it's longer than that. And that's just the single player campaign. The multiplayer campaign, it's about 2/3 as long as the single player campaign. All in all, you're getting a pretty good game, especially with this kind of innovation. Now, the concept of Portal is pretty simple. You're a human being tested by a robot named Gladys, who gives you all sorts of verbal abuse. And it's not just her, there are actually a few voices in this game. Without giving any spoilers away, yes, spoilers in a puzzle game, figure that shit out. Good job for the team at Valve for making it possible to give away spoilers on a puzzle game. But one of the voices in this game is J.K. Simmons, hilarious. But back to the point, this robot is programmed to test people with a portal gun. You have a portal gun and you can shoot two portals, orange portal and blue portal. You go in one, you come out the other, which is necessary for solving these puzzles, and then let the testing begin. Awesome concept, right? And there's something cool just messing around with these portals, like shooting one above you and then below you and just watching you drop forever. Entertainment right there. And not only is Portal 2 really innovative and smart, but it's not like impossibly smart. There are a couple puzzles where you're just like, this is impossible. But generally speaking, you can still solve the puzzles. You don't end up like throwing your controller through your TV or anything like that. But it's also really hilarious. Now, I see a lot of movies and I watch a fair amount of TV, you know that. Portal 2 has the funniest and most clever dialogue I've seen in anything this year. So do yourself a favor if you have an Android phone, just download the app to the soundboards to the characters in Portal 2. You are welcome in advance. Now, the single player campaign really delves into Aperture Science. Aperture Science being the company that came up with these tests to do on people. It's like the Dharma Initiative from Lost. I found the story really intriguing in a puzzle game. So you get done with the level and you're rewarded with this like little treat of information in the form of really clever dialogue. It's like win, 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 triple win. But the multiplayer campaign, I found the puzzles really cool. Although the multiplayer doesn't have as much to do with the story as single player does. So although all the puzzles are cool, multiplayer wins for the puzzles and single player wins for the story and dialogue. Although multiplayer has cool dialogue too. Now, it's really interesting that it's a first-person game involving a gun where you don't shoot anything, yet it's still awesome. I don't know about you, but with my first-person games, I like blowing shit up. I need that BFG 9000 just to eradicate a room full of dudes. But in Portal, it's okay. I just want to feel smart. And when you solve some of these puzzles, you're like, I don't care what anyone says, I am a genius. There are a lot of more difficult puzzle games out there, but they're not as good as Portal 2. So I'm a sucker for hilarious dialogue, I'm a sucker for smart puzzle games, and I'm a sucker for innovation, and Portal 2 has all three. There's not a single level in the game where you're like, that wasn't well thought out at all. In fact, you end Portal 2 going, I don't know what they're gonna do if they make a third one. It's like the Dark Knight of puzzle games. I don't have a conventional rating system for games yet, I should work on that, I know. But no matter what, even though I wish Portal 2 was longer, I will say Portal 2 is awesome-tacular. And the ending of the single-player campaign, though, holy shit. I'm not going to give you any spoilers or anything like that, but the ending to the single-player campaign is like the most epic moment ever. This is the kind of stuff that movies should do, but they're not going to do because they're not as cool as Portal 2. For some reason, the Portal games are those games that you can actually watch your friends play and you're entertained. I hate watching my friends play RPGs. I hate watching my friends play most games. Portal 2, though, you're like, I want to see how they get through this puzzle. And you want to see the look on their faces when Gladys or whoever gives them verbal abuse. It's good stuff. Really rare that a game can entertain the watchers as well as the players. But Portal 2 pulls that off by just being hilarious and entertaining. So play it, laugh, download the Droid app for the voices. Great stuff. And if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.